Good day. Welcome to our weekend's racing. We start on Saturday with the turffontein race meet. We're on the inside track. There are 9 races to get through. I've got Daryn, Burroughs and Maree on standby to get us through the action. A reminder about our social media on Twitter. Thank you. Now we got past as many as 1,000 followers in the last 2 weeks, and we intend to get to 10,000 followers over the next 2 months. So keep finding and following Weighted to Win. We're on Weighted to Win WhatsApp as well. There's the number. Also, YouTube is going very strongly for those that may want to join us there, forracing.tv, or of course on DSTV 240. So there are multiple ways of engaging Weighted to Win, and we look forward to the Saturday race meeting. Daryn, Burroughs, let's talk about the first. Good day to you firstly, and it's a maiden plate that starts the race meeting. Want to go through the market quickly. Remember, we do this on Friday. We don't do this morning of race days on the weekend, so it'll give you an idea what Friday looked like for you. And Sylvan Theatre for Mike de Kock had a fair first run, 33-10 currently favourite, with Mo the Man first-timers at 6-1. And then you got the source, the Maree, who's also a first-timer trading at 6-1. Just with regards to comments around those, if I can just find them for you now quickly, I'll tell you what the guys have to say about those particular first-timers. Firstly, COVID operates in the first. Johan Janssen van Vieren says, very fit, lucky from poor draw, minor money chance. Number 5, California Boy. Ash Fortune says, nice colt, maybe green. Mo the Man, Johan says, attractive animal, bred to stay 2 days, lacks turn of foot, middle parts of gallops. That's from Johan van Vieren. The Maree from Brett Crawford stable, James says, working well, will need the run. Number 9, Tiger in Red, no comment from the Mowing stable. And then number 11, We've Got Tonight. Magnus says, nice horse, but will need the experience. So does that leave us with de Kock?
Definitely, Clyde. If the unraced horses aren't fancied, then Sylvan Theatre's the horse to beat. He jumped from a deep draw on debut. He showed pace. He was eye-catching. I thought it was a decent effort. And he jumped from a good draw this time around. So he's the horse to beat, but follow the market with regards to the first-timer. I thought the Maree probably the best of the first-timers.
Okay, let's get Darryl, Maree, and talk about Saturday's opener. How do we start?
Clyde, it's difficult to say because there's no positivity coming from those comments.
Yeah.
Of the race runners, I certainly believe Sylvan Theatre is the right horse.
All right.
He loomed up dangerously on debut, but because of that wide draw, he is caught wide, but with cover. It just caught him out. But he ought to have learned plenty from that experience. Looks like the pace is going to be on over 1,200. I mean, Gio Couture is lightning fast. Plus, he's been fitted with blinkers this time around. If the first-timers are very green behind him, he could certainly run into the money, although he doesn't have the strongest of form lines. And War Bonnet Creek is also very quick. So I'm hoping Sylvan Theatre will just be positioned behind them and ready to strike.
Okay, maybe that's the right one then. Let's have a look at what we're going to do. Remember, it's not a bypot or anything, so this is just an opener to get some money to start the day at turffontein. This is what we intend on doing race number 1, and we're going with the swingers here, 3 and 7. Second race on the card. I can tell you Alec Lee's got a few in here. Unfortunately, we didn't get comments from the stable. Sean Terry says that number 8, More Than a Feeling, will need the run. Nordic View, again, Alec, unfortunately, didn't get a comment there, neither for the Mowing stable. Sean Terry says Tis Magic number 12, doing well, may need the run. Let's have a look at bipot race market. Daryn, talk about the source Solo Diva for the Tyrant Zaki stable. Is in good form, trading at 33-10 favourite. Number 2, Midnight Crystal, is at 5-1. And number 12, Tis Magic, which Pierre Stradham's riding, is looking for win number 5,500 today. That Saturday is at 11-2. What's your first choice?
I'm leaning towards the Terry runners. Number 2, Midnight Crystal. Her penultimate start, she ran 2.5 lengths behind Captain Peg, and we know what Captain Peg's come out to do after that. Last time out, maybe didn't see out the mile, back to 1,200 meters. And Tis Magic ran in a juvenile plate behind Maree. Obviously a bad run, but returns after a long break. And drawn well, Pierre Stradham in the saddle. And then touching on Solo Diva, that was a work rider race on debut, and I'm not too sure how strong that form line is.
Yeah, I see the Tis Magical, that was back in March of 22, so it's a long time ago, but the form's very strong.
I mean, Maree is very strong. Miss Daisy also contested that race, Clyde. Who's favourite here?
Favourite at the moment is, I'll tell you now, in terms of this, is Solar Diva at 33-10.
You're joking. That's favourite.
That's favourite.
I don't know what they've found.
Well, what are you going with?
I mean, that's
Midnight.
That has to be a joke of sorts.
Well, it's favourite.
Okay. Let's see race time, Clyde. Tis Magic, I mean...
But why wouldn't she be favourite if she ran second, first time out beaten 4 lengths? She's in a good...
In a work riders at 35 to 1. In a work riders at 35 to 1. There was no confidence going into that race. Surely, 3 weeks later, has she grown an extra leg or what? But Midnight Crystal, Daryn's touched on the fact that she's got the strongest form coming into this race, alongside Tis Magic. Midnight Crystal possibly never stayed last time out. I think she should be the filly to beat. Smelting, I mean, she's very limited. What is she, a 5-year-old mare? But she's got early toe on a quick inside track with 4 kgs off her back. I think she could stay on into the money.
All right. Well, it's a buy pot, so let's get buy pots on here. Interesting. Market's not agreed with at all, as you heard, Darryl, very upset about it. So we've got some of these going, don't forget. We'll talk about where they've come from and how come. Here's before you have one of those cupcakes, talk about us, buy pot, Darryl Maree.
Yes, Clyde. It's quite a wide perm, you can see. I've only got one banker that comes up in the second leg, and that's Tsar Bomba. That perm will cost you 432 Rand.
All right, that's a 432 perm. Let's have a look at Daryn. What's your buy pot looking like, Daryn?
Well, I've taken 2 bankers at the back. So I've gone 2, 10, 12 by 1, 2, 4, 5, 8 by 2, 4, 5 by 3, 5, 7, 10. Bankering Fascinado in the 5th leg. And then bankering Out of the Darkness, my best bet on the card in the last leg.
On to the third. Okay, it's place accumulator time. Now let's get into action. It's a plated race, and Swing Upon a Star and Union Square are basically the horses with Moon shining through. Those are the ones that are best weighted in the race. Daryn, let's talk about what the market's indicating. Union Square 3-1. Some uncertainty about the market here with 5 Tsar Bomber at 33-10 and number 1 Swing Upon a Star at 4-1. Then Moon shining through, you can get around 6s. What do you like?
Tough race, Clyde. You know, a lot of these horses having their seasonal reappearance and maybe in need of the run. Obviously, the class horse Union Square, I thought disappointing in the gate crasher. I thought he would win, but I know he did get beat by Cousin Casey, who's gone on to bigger things. I'm not too sure how well he is. Tsar Bomber won a really good maiden on debut, and this horse could be anything. And then Mover and Shaker, I believe the drop-in trip's going to suit him because he shows plenty pace. Last time out in that feature, he was leading up until the 250, and then he faded out of contention. So he could be another one to consider.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about the other one of Johan Janssen van Vieren. I see Gavin Larena's in the saddle and back in action again now, Darryl. I know he had an issue with his hands, but hopefully that's all sorted. He says he feels much better.
Yeah, let's hope so, Clyde. You know, you can just put a line through her last start. She came out, she hit her nose on the ground. She nearly came down.
Okay.
Wasn't persevered with. So just put a line through that effort. She's highly regarded by the stable. But Clyde, you know, I do believe the pace is going to be on over here. Swing Upon a Star and Mover and Shaker. They get on with it in the early stages. And in my opinion, that's going to set up things perfectly for Tsar Bomber. People are going to say he's not in well in at the weights over here. He didn't beat much. Go watch that replay. He absolutely glided in. He was going too well in the early stages. I think with the pace being on, we're going to see we're going to see what he's really capable of this time.
Seems like a very impressive horse, eh?
Yes, Clyde. And you know, on times, he would have beaten a filly called Dacia Pambili by 6 lengths. I think he could have won by much further if he was really asked to go on with it.
You know, I see he opened 7-1, they backed him into 11-2, but I remember speaking to Lawrence Werners and there wasn't much activity or action around the race.
There wasn't much trade on the horse.
But it shortened.
But there was support for him. Somebody got on.
Yep.
It wasn't the stable because they weren't bullish.
But a lovely horse.
Good enough to keep
Union Square at bay. Good enough to keep Union Square at bay, even though you may need it?
Union Square, now, we've got a case of what happened in the recently twice. Kiss Me Captain, She was out at the weights, but yet she was racing fit.
Mm.
She came up trumps. Another one also escapes me, Clyde.
But run the
That
same.
also Antigua Knot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the cox horses are not.
And also Captain Peg. I mean, Captain Peg was out at the weights. You had Rock the Fox, or what was it? Rock the Fox.
Terry's
Anyway, so Union Square of the more exposed horses, I do believe he's got the strongest form coming into this race, but he's not going to be readied up. He's got a wide draw to contend with. Will his class get the better of Tsar Bomber? I don't know, but I do think Tsar Bomber will follow up on his maiden win.
All right, so you're big on Tsar Bomber. All right, so we got that clear. Now let's get on to this race, and this is what we intend on doing. It's a place accumulator, so let's get our PAs up. Darryl?
Yes, 3 bankers to open up with, Clyde. Tsar Bomber, number 5. By number 5, that is, what was it? Liliana.
Yep.
Banker the 10, Bold Fortune. Then 1, 3, and 6, 1, 10, 11, 6, and 8 by Banker the 4.
All right, that's Darryl's. So he'll be bankering 4 at the back, hoping that lands for him in place accumulators and Meridius. Let's talk to Daryn Burroughs.
Mine is 4, 5, 8 by 4 and 5 by 1, 7, 10 by 6 by 1 by 2, 6, 7, 8 by 3 and 4, 144 Rand per.
Thank you. We've got our coffees just arrived. Thank you very much. Let's get on to race number 4 now. This is a handicap. It's over 1,800 meters. Pick sixes. Let's go. And straight into it. I'll talk to Daryn Burroughs about it firstly. I'll give you an idea, Daryn, on Friday what the betting looked like, where top of the boards was Greek Miss at 5-2. First run for the Mowing stable. Terror Time, number 1, is 3-1. And number 4, Gilded Butterfly, is 4-1. Then Mike de Kock brings Liliana in at 5-1. Brett Weber had a double on Thursday. He brings this horse Dark Travel in at 8-1. And all runners quoted Opera Glass 9-1 and Code Zero 10-1.
Yes, Clyde, touching on Greek Miss, it's ex-Paul Peter. I don't think we've seen any of them win as yet. I think they've all been in need of a run. Gilded Butterfly, I think she's going to love this step up in trip. She's been a little bit disappointing, not rounding her races off. She could appreciate the 1,800 meters, but I've gone 4 and 5. I like Liliana. She ran second to Greek Miss after a long break, and she's 2.5 kilos better off at the weights, having a peak run. So for me, numbers 4 and 5.
Crimson Princess from the Fortune Stables in there. Will that give any indication behind Emma Regina, the likes of Gilded Butterfly and the Cox horse? On the line of comparison, no.
Well, they both competed in the same race.
Yeah.
What behind Emregina?
Correct.
Liliana and Gilded Butterfly.
Yeah.
You can
So
put a line,
Liliana, I mean, there's 5 lengths between them.
you can put a line through Liliana's last drop.
What happened there?
3 wide, no cover, second run off the rest.
Okay.
She is the filly to beat, Clyde.
Right.
She's my top pick. Health respect for Gilded Butterfly. She has been disappointing. I liked her very strongly last time out.
Yeah.
I thought she had every opportunity, but then again, the one on that occasion went to the front under 52 kilograms and just kept on rolling. So for me, I mean, Darren's Campovia, 4 and 5. My first pick is Liliana. Terror Time. Now, hasn't she been very impressive? But along with that, she has caught the handicapper's eye and been given an £8 penalty. But this time round, she should get the run of the race from a 1 draw. So I do respect her because she's clearly in good form. But Liliana, the filly to beat, in my opinion.
Terror Time and Liliana, both course and distance suited. They both have won this course and distance. That's going to be an interesting race. Quite competitive, I would imagine. Let's have a look. Pick 6 is what the boys have put together for us. We're starting with Darryl's pick 6. Let's go there now. We'll bring in Darryl, zoops it in, and here goes.
Yes, Clyde. 1, 3, 4, and 5. By 3, 5, and 10. By 1, 3, 5, 6. By 1, 10, 11. By 6 and 8. And the banker is in the last leg, number 4.
All right, that's Darryl. Let's get Daryn Burroughs' idea.
I've gone field by bankering 6 Fascinado, bankering 1 Out of the Darkness by field, and then the 2 horses at the back should be enough, numbers 3 and 4. It's a 1,400 Rand perm.
There's the Furious Room Coffee Shop. There we go. How's that? Talk about coffee. Can we go to wide, please, Vasani? Let me just show Darryl what we've got here. There we go. This is what you get in the Furious Room. See.
Okay.
And this came from a fan, by the way, because Daryn and Darryl got the pick six in the week, sent these beautifully spiced cupcakes. We're not going to eat them now. We can't do anything right now, maybe later as time goes on. But this is like a Furious Room sort of
Really
appetite.
got spoiled here this morning.
Good point. So don't forget, if you want to book in the Furious Room, do so. Go help yourself. There's lots going on Saturday there, Saturday afternoon. Now, let's talk about this Pinnacle Stakes where Pink Tourmaline comes out best weighted with Bold Fortune, Daryn Burroughs. Nebraska and Ultra Magnus not too far behind. I'm particularly interested in Nebraska because Pierce Stradham's riding it. And something tells me he might get 5,500 on this.
Clyde, a tough race, starting with second base. Now, his comeback run was decent. He was only beaten 2 lengths, but he does jump from a 10 draw and he likes to tuck in off the pace. So he'll be running at them very late on. A horse like Bold Fortune comes into the race very well handicapped, 50.5 kilos on her back. I think she'll run a big race. And then Blackthorn, I know he's best over further, but he's also very competitive over 1,800. So 3, 7, 10, then Imperial Ruby, and Nebraska for minor money.
Yeah, second base has always been one of Darren's favourite horses, often tips it. What do you like?
Yeah, I like him as well, Clyde. But you can't separate him, Bold Fortune and Imperial Ruby on form. I watched that replay again, Clyde. I thought second base moved up extremely well. He just emptied out in the latter stages. I thought he was in need of that run, so he's going to strip much fitter. I wouldn't be surprised to see him reverse that form with Bold Fortune and Imperial Ruby. Now, Imperial Ruby's favour is he's a handy type of sort, Clyde. He's going to be up on the pace. He has won over this distance in the past, and he's very fit. So I've got respect for him. And Bold Fortune is probably the one to beat. She is joint best weighted, but you can see Cabello's opted to ride her over his stable's Pink Tourmaline. And I think she's better than her last start. Last time she had no cover and she was over racing in the early stages. I think if she gets dropped in early, settles, she'll be doing her best work late.
Tell me about Nebraska that I like.
You're going into ratings, Clyde. You have to take into the fact that he's earned his rating, I think, over 1.5 miles. Having his comeback run.
Won this distance.
Yeah, but
I know
against
it's a bit
weaker.
short nowadays, but
Against weaker. Is he going to be tuned up to win at 1,800 on the inside track? If it was a stand-side track, I think his class could certainly put him right up there. But I think he's going to be caught flat-footed.
Yeah, he's coming out of
I wouldn't be shocked to see him win, but unfortunately, I've left him out, Clyde.
All right. Interesting. Let's see what the story holds for us here. This is a jackpot, and this is what we're going to do, race number 5. Let's put that up for you quickly, and we are going with Daryn, and Darren's looking for a upset result.
Yes, field by 6, by 1, by field. $100 will give it to you full.
Well, now comes one of the most difficult races on the card, if the market's anything to go by. Anyway, Daryn, they've got 4-1 the whole field, yeah? Stunning Kitten top of the boards. Fascinata is 4-1 at the moment. The 3 Sunbird is 9-2 on Friday. And number 1, Linger No More is at 5-1. Pinky Levine, 6-1. And 10-1 about a horse like Blue Eruption. So I guess it's open. But in your case, you've got a banker here, right?
Well, Clyde, do you remember 3 runs back when I tipped Fascinata at 25-1? Do you remember my words that day?
Tell me, remind me.
She was drawn 1, and I said if she gets to the front, she'll stay there. And they backed her from 25s into 6s, and she went start to finish. Now she's drawn 1 again. Last time out, she was drawn deep. She didn't get into a handy position and just stayed towards the back of the field. She's drawn 1 again. Calvin Habib in the saddle. If she gets to the front from the start, they won't head her. I think she'll go all the way. So I'm quite strong on Fascinata.
Okay, very interesting. You're very big on Fascinata. Take the chances with her. And, well, you think she can go to the front and stay there?
I've got my doubts if she's going to get to the front because Linger No More is also a handy type. So I think it's either one or the other that's going to set the pace of here. If Fascinata does get to the front and is able to slow it down like she did when she won, I respect her. She will run a much better race this time around.
I see KPK came from there last time, eh?
Yeah, and the stable's in form. Linger No More, Clyde. Now have a look at her rating. down from an 86 to a 71, and she takes a plummeting class. So I think, in my opinion, I make Linger No More the filly to beat.
And you'll know where you stand if Liliana and those horses have come right?
Yes,
Deal
yes.
with Butterfly, it'll give you a better idea.
Terror Time's also well above average.
Right.
I think the improver has to be number 3, Sunbird. A good comeback effort, Clyde. Then disappointed in her second run after rest. Her rating has come down further to 66. Blinkers go on. So I'm going to say it's between 1, 3, and 6.
Yeah. Muji's been a bit quiet since his tumble, eh?
Yeah, well,
hopefully he can come
he'll
back
bounce
to form.
back.
He'll bounce back, yeah. All right, so
let's see. Maybe this is recorded on Friday morning, Clyde. He might have booted home a good few winners.
Oh, on Friday, yeah, of course.
Friday,
yeah, we don't know. That's quite possible. Sunbird currently trading at 9-2. All right, let's see how the boys are playing it. Yeah, we know where Daryn lies. He's certainly going with that Fascinado horse, no question. Let's see what Maree's doing.
Yes, Clyde, I've decided to take on the second jackpot myself. So I'm playing it this way: 1, 3, 5, and 6 by 1, 10, and 11 by 6 and 8. Bank of the 4 at the back, 24 Rand per.
Race 7's a handicap, and it's over 1,500 metres. We're Out of the Darkness is top of the boards. Reunion comes back to action as well. There are a few in here. Forever Mine, Deep Sound of Summer, some lovely horses that are running. Out of Darkness is the favourite, number 1 on the card at 3-1. 11 Another Level is 5-1 second choice. 4 Sound of Summer is 7-1. And number 10 on the card, Wafif, is trading at 7-1. So it's 11s and better about the others. Interesting race. Let's go to Daryn Burroughs. Your play, another banker.
This is my best bet on the card, Out of the Darkness. Last time out, he was absolutely cruising at the 400, and I don't think the jock saw Irish Tractor get first run on him. And when asked a question, he was gaining hand over fist. Another stride or two, he would have won the race. So the blinkers go on from a good draw. As long as he doesn't over race, I think he'll win.
Yeah, it does look the right one. I saw, funny enough, Daryn and Darryl, I saw Johan Janssen van Vieren after the race, and we were watching the horses come back. And in the same race, if I recall correctly, I think Asterix was in there as well in that particular run, and he was busy watching Asterix circling around the parade ring when they come back. And he was so upset. He was so upset with Out of the Dark, not the jockey. He was upset with Out of the Darkness because he says, this horse is something else. It's only when he gets his mind, if he puts his mind on the job, he'll run and he'll win. But he's almost like digs his toes in. He got running, then he dug his toes in. I don't know if he's noticed, the last 100 meters, he dug his toes in again and just didn't want to go past. So I'm a bit worried that he doesn't get his mind right, you know. It's a bit like Weighted to Win. If our mind's not right, we can't tip them. So that's the problem. But our mind's right today, so don't worry about that. What do you think?
Are you finished now?
I'm finished.
Okay. Yeah, I think if he jumps on terms, he'll win. He's got the form, he's got the fitness. I don't know what else to say. I just think he needs to jump on terms because often he's slow into stride, Clyde. On paper, it's not a one-horse race. Have a look at Wafif on the 9th of April. I think there's a length and a half separating the two of them. He's 5 kilograms better off.
Yeah.
Wafif's a decent sort himself, but he's coming back from a slight rest. Another Level, lightly raced 4-year-old. We haven't seen the best of him yet. Improving with racing, but his form line hasn't stood up, so that's a concern. But he's a nice horse, Clyde.
Yeah.
And you'll appreciate the pace being on. Reunion, Indlamu, Forever Mine. There's one other that's also likes to get on with things, Savannah Storm. So the pace is certainly going to be on. Another Level's going to settle in just behind the pace. So everything hinges on whether Out of the Darkness is going to jump on terms. If he does, I think, like I said, he should win.
He's the right one. Best other, from a fitness perspective, will be Forever Mine. I mean, it's a very good horse. Johnny Gerard has told you get much closer to William Robertson the last time they ran. And, well, they rate this horse. So watch out, Forever Mine. He's a massive runner. Even though he's drawn badly, he's a massive runner. Let's put the play up now. Let's have a look in this handicap. It's a 1,500, and this is what we intend on doing. Daryn Burroughs doesn't want to know whether he's got his mind on the job or not. Out of the Darkness will win. Let's get on to the 8. Here's a handicap. It's at the 88 level over 1,500 meters. Get Daryn Burroughs on the line. The Vanderbilt, wat Voorders is now back in action again, is a 22-10 favourite at the moment, having his first run for the Robin Clarkson stable. Clarkson, who was an impressive winner, currently trading at 5-1, and Whispers of War is at 11-2. 6-1 about Kotinos, and then you can get about 7 or 8-1 and better about the others. Your take on Vanderbilt?
Well, Paul Peter worked wonders on Vanderbilt. I think he won 5 from 5. So it's difficult to say how he's going to go. I mean, his rating's right up. I know he gets a 4-kilo claim, but I'm looking past him. Clarkson, he's really improved with the blinkers on. I know he's best over a bit further, but with the pace on, he'll be running on very strongly. And I see Mozieni has ridden Clarkson and Whispers of War in their last few starts, and he's chosen Clarkson. I thought Whispers of War and Kotinos, definite runners. And then Argo Ali, he's a very good horse on his day, but he returns after a break. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes.
Interesting race. What's your take?
Yeah, Clyde, you spoke to Mr. Maharaj with regards to Vanderbilt's £9 penalty. What did he say?
Yeah, well, I mean, with the handicappers nowadays, the way conditions read is that in a plated race you can't penalise them more than £6, which is 3 kilos. Somebody said they don't understand pounds, and please can we speak English, which is quite right. I mean, we are South African, so we should be talking kilos. So you got 3 kilos penalty, maximum plated race, and then in a handicap, the handicapper is not supposed to penalise the maximum more than 4 kilos. That's their ceiling weight, basically. And in this case, Vanderbilt got 4.5 kilos penalty for the last start. And the question was, why could you do that if you're not supposed to do that? And Lennon said, we can do what we like. It's at our discretion. We don't do it often, but we can maximize or penalize a horse as much as we want in a handicap. Yes, 4 kilos is the guide, but if we feel that it's not enough, we'll give it more. So that's sort of set 1 or 2 back.
Yeah, Clyde,
back.
What's the betting of here? Who's favourite?
I think, isn't it? Didn't I say Vanderbilt? 22-10.
And Clarkson?
5-1.
What price do you want to lay me Clarkson starts favourite?
Well, I would imagine so, based on the form, what we've seen of late. You're probably right. Clarkson will.
I think Clarkson at 5-1 is a huge price. I think Kotinos is his biggest danger. No, Clarkson, listen to this, Clyde. The pace is certainly going to be on with Vanderbilt and Whispers of War. They both string them along. So Clarkson, number 1, he'll enjoy that. Then look at his form now. Brendan James ran 8 lengths behind.
Yep.
He came out and ran second to Wolf's World.
Yes.
Twin Turbo ran 10 lengths behind. He came out and ran third, beaten a length. Mtabisi came out and ran fourth. He was beaten 11 lengths. So I'm making Clarkson the horse to beat. But yeah, I know it is on the touch on the sharp side, but the blinkers have certainly woken him up, and he will appreciate the fact that the pace is on. I just hope he'll.
And he got 4 kilos for his last win, eh?
Yes, he's always been a nice horse, and I think the blinkers have finally got the best out of him. Kotinos, another horse we can follow because he's on the upgrade, and Stradom knows this horse extremely well. They are going to back Kotinos, and Clarkson and Vanderbilt will drift. I'm saying Clarkson, the horse to beat, and his current price of 5-1, massive each way value.
Yeah, the Stradom factor on Kotinos could make all the difference. The last time he rode on him, he won. The form hasn't worked out fantastically either way. Anyway, to Admiral Dooley, to be honest, nothing really.
But Admiral Dooley over this course and distance is ultra competitive and consistent. So that was a good effort.
Okay. Right. We know where we stand now, or do we? Let's have a look. What are the boys doing? 8th race, final leg of the jackpot. This is the play, and we're taking exactas. We're boxing them, and we're going with 2, 6, and 8, meaning they've brassed Vanderbilt. Welcome back. It's our last race on the card. It's a novice handicap, 1,450 meters. And in this particular race, we've got this horse, Maree, who's top of the wards, Daryn Burroughs, trading at around 14-10 on Friday from the Ash Fortune stable in Ryan Munga. We saw them win during the course of the week. Number 3, Destiny of Souls, interesting runner, 4-1, second choice for the Michael de Kock stable. And number 1, Fast Love, is 6-1. 8-1 about 5 without equal. And then 11-1 and better about the others. What's your take on Maree?
I thought quite a good price on offer at the moment, Meridius. That second behind Feather Boa, he was gaining hand over fist the final 200 meters. That was impressive. First time out the maidens on those conditions with 60 kilos. So definitely hard to beat. The exacta play is Destiny of Souls. He has beaten Meridius in his maiden, but I thought a bit disappointing in that feature last time out. There was support for him. But if bouncing back, he's the only threat to Meridius.
Okay. Just a reminder that Vivacious Spirit's not running. That's the scratching in this race on Friday. Darryl?
Yeah, Clyde. Destiny of Souls, Daryn correctly pointed out that he has beaten Meridius. I actually liked him last time out. He was in the perfect position turning for home. I wasn't impressed with his comeback run. So I don't think he's got a winning chance based on that effort. Meridius, Clyde, have a listen to this. Last time out in a graduation, he achieved 103. Right. He's off an 88. That's 7.5 kilograms. Well in over here. Rested and gelded from a one draw. We've seen Feather Boa beat Miss Daisy. They were well clear of some decent footies. I think Meridius at 14-10 gets stuck in. I'm going to make a statement. He'll start in the red, closer to 7-10 race time.
Is that so, eh? Race over. So you're not worried that, right, he ran to Feather Boa, Raffles ran third, came out to run third. We're waiting for Time to Shine to run. Future Wolf came out and ran second.
Future Wolf's also won since then.
And won again after that, right?
Yeah, he ran a few seconds and then won.
Yeah.
Clyde, stop beating around the bush over here. Give the viewers some confidence. Go have a bet.
Can we?
Yes.
Are you sure, Darryl?
Look here.
Is this how we end up? Is that the signal? They have one of these here. Have this with coffee. There's your coffee. Whilst we're doing that, we're going to get on our Meridius. Yep. Let's get all the Meridius. Get on. Let's have a look at what we're doing here quickly. Whilst we're busy with this. Yeah, this is the play. Get into our betting site. Meridius struck. Okay, and that takes care of today. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, we're at Waited to Win on Twitter. We also got a WhatsApp number. You can welcome to join the family. Love to hear from you there and enjoy your comments all of the while. Also on YouTube, 4racing.tv or DSTV 240. Thanks to the whole team for helping us out this week. Shannon, to Urash, to Dylan, to Wasani, putting the show together and making it work. Thanks for watching.